Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you'll be listening to a hypnosis session designed to boost confidence and a feeling of composure, particularly when presenting online. I've done lots and lots of phobia work and anxiety hypnosis with clients that had a fear of public speaking to audiences. So in person at a lectern, on a stage with a microphone, speaking to an audience, things like, speeches at weddings to conferences, helped a lot of people. Since COVID came along, a lot of the interest in people dealing with anxiety has shifted from presenting to audiences in a physical sense to a more digital sense. And I think COVID led to a lot of people shifting their working practices online. I used to do a lot of physical conferences. These days, most of the conferences that I speak at are virtual conferences, which is good because I have a studio and it's easy for me to connect with people all around the world. You don't have to travel. I actually love speaking in public. I'm flying out to Las Vegas to speak at a conference there. So there's something very different about speaking in front of people than there is speaking online. And increasingly, I'm getting requests to speak or for people to deal with anxiety speaking to an online audience. That might be over Zoom. That might be recording video for YouTube. It can be live, it can be pre-recorded. But I think there is a increasing desire for people to feel confident communicating to an audience, even if they're not physically there. So this client was an example of that. They wanted to feel very confident on Zoom meetings, particularly where all eyes were on them and they were the one presenting. They had symptoms of anxiety, such as a change in breathing and rapid heart rate. And there was a fear that other people on the Zoom call would notice that. And then if they noticed them noticing, that would cause even more anxiety. And with anxiety, you tend to have these loops where one thing feeds something else, which feeds something else, and it just kind of feeds on itself and gets bigger and bigger and can feel overwhelming. So you're going to hear a hypnosis session designed specifically for people with anxiety presenting online. There's a few things going on here. There's an element of disassociation. There's direct suggestions, anchoring resource states, tips in terms of breathing and strategies as to what to focus on. So it's really designed to help anyone. Obviously, I was working with an individual client, but anyone with anxiety presenting online. If you feel like you would want something a bit more customized, you can click a link in the show notes to schedule a free 30-minute consultation call to explore working with me. But you might find that actually this session, albeit that it was created for someone else, might actually be quite helpful. So the best way to experience this hypnosis session, ideally, is to listen in a place where it's quite quiet, where you're not going to be disturbed. We've got a relaxing surface, so it could be a sofa, a chair, or a bed to relax and to enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just release any feelings of tension or stress, particularly around the neck, around the jaw, but also release any tension around the eyelids. So as you breathe in and breathe out with your eyes closed, you're better able to evaluate the rhythm of your breathing. But instead of breathing in, I want you to focus on the outward breath. That you can exhale any tension and stress just by breathing out slower and longer than you normally would. And because you're exhaling any feeling of tension or stress, your lungs are completely empty, forcing you to take a deep breath in, not from the chest, but deep down in the diaphragm. The deeper you breathe, more of those feelings of resourcefulness are going in. And a full lung of air enables you to evaluate any tension in your body and just set the intention to release that tension. As you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to imagine feeling like you're somewhere that you consider the most relaxed you could ever be. Maybe you can imagine yourself lying on a sandy beach, floating on a lilo, on a pool. Perhaps you can imagine walking through nature like a field or a forest. Allow your mind to take you to wherever your mind thinks is relaxing for you. And wherever you are, notice that helps you to breathe even more relaxed, effortlessly relaxed. That you're breathing all by yourself, not having to force a breath in or force a breath out, as you release the muscles around your vocal cords, around your neck, feeling like your head is almost floating, held there almost by an invisible string. You breathe in through your nose and out through your nose, feeling your diaphragm rise and fall like the waves close to the shore. That's it, deeper and deeper relaxed. And I want you to think about the future. I want you to think that it takes work and effort in order to get anxious. It's very difficult to get anxious when you start thinking about things going well. When you imagine a future where you see the future version of you doing things the way you want to do them. See yourself avoiding mistakes. See yourself preparing well. See yourself competent and professional. Notice how hard it is to feel anxious. In fact, try as hard as you can to observe yourself doing things well while simultaneously feeling anxious. And the harder you try, the more difficult it becomes, until you accept the belief that when you think about the future happening the way you want it to happen, observing yourself like you're someone else, it becomes easy to feel inspired, to prepare well, to be optimistic, and very difficult to feel anxious. But let's do a test. I want you to imagine going forward into a version of you failing at something that matters. Imagine people looking at you, you're getting things wrong. Here you're in a dialogue, calling you an idiot. Why are you doing that? And notice that when you feel like you're in the future version of you getting things wrong, anxiety is easier to find, but it's also easy to lose as you switch perspective, rewind that version of you getting it wrong, and then playing it forward, you doing it the way you would like to do it. And notice, it feels more calming, feels more relaxing. Plus you have the objectivity. There's a reason why most managers and coaches of sports teams are not also players. When you're observing from the outside in, you get to see things more clearly. You're detached from the emotion of it all. Most directors are not actors in the same movie. And I want you to be the director and the coach of your future. To see yourself like you're someone else. And I want you to see yourself preparing well. See yourself with facial expressions and body language of someone that is quietly optimistic, playfully professional. I want you to see that future version of you with an attitude of you either win or you learn. Either things happen the way you want it to, or you learn a valuable lesson to do things better in the future. The only way to lose is to think you're already going to lose. Breathe in and breathe out, and I want you to imagine seeing in front of you someone that you consider a highly competent presenter and speaker. And imagine they are speaking not to a live audience, but they're speaking to an audience perhaps of thousands virtually. Maybe they're streaming, maybe they're live broadcasting. But I want you to see their posture, see their breathing rate, see their facial expressions, and see that they don't even need to prepare that much. They just acknowledge that they know what they're talking about, the key points to cover, and they trust their ability to present that well. And when you can see that role model, that person that you consider to be a professional presenter, particularly to an online audience, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to mimic their facial expressions, their breathing rate. But also imagine they're making evaluations as to their ability to do this thing. Maybe a talk, maybe answering questions. But they've evaluated that they can do this easily. It takes all the pressure off. And I want you to imagine shifting perspective so you now feel like you are trying on them for size. Wearing their body and their experience like you're trying on new clothes. Feel how good it would feel to have that big audience. Maybe being asked questions, maybe present an idea. And to know that you can breathe slowly and calmly. To feel that you have some structure, but you're willing to communicate whatever needs to be said. And I want you to feel how relaxed and calm you feel in this situation. And I want you to activate this feeling by putting a hand there on your belly where your diaphragm is. Because on a Zoom call or a Teams call, nobody can see your belly. And from this point onwards, this will be an anchor to trigger this emotional state of feeling calm and confident, professional, but also playful and relaxed. That as you feel that hand rise and fall, you realize that you're breathing well, you're feeling activated, and this will immediately get you feeling like you have things under control. I want you to imagine now seeing yourself maybe in front of a screen. See yourself with the same mannerisms, see yourself with the same posture and facial expressions of the version of you that could do this without worrying. See that you're breathing from the diaphragm. See that your neck and your shoulders are relaxed. See that you have any notes on hand if you need them, but you really don't need them. And see yourself doing that call, that presentation, that talk well. Just observe yourself as you become open-minded to new ideas, to activate that confident, professional version of you. The moment you see yourself sitting on a chair in front of a webcam and a screen, and you imagine stepping out onto that virtual stage, you exude authentic confidence, knowing that you have something important to share. As you feel that diaphragm going in and going out, you feel a deep sense of calm and relaxation, allowing your true self to shine through, feeling how good it feels to be free from any anxiety or nervousness. The more you do it, the more comfortable you feel until your words flow effortlessly and you express yourself with clarity and articulation, captivating your audience with your eloquence. And just because you're presenting doesn't mean you have to be ultra serious. Playfulness comes naturally to you, adding a touch of professional playfulness that engages your listeners with the occasional humor or joke. With each word you speak, you feel like the conductor of an orchestra, perfectly orchestrating your tonality, pitch, volume and pauses for maximum impact. I want you to see speaking to an audience as something you get to do, not have to do. As you embrace the privilege of speaking to your audience online, feeling honored to have the opportunity to educate and positively impact them. And whether it's on Zoom or Teams or any other technology that streams what you have to say, feel how good it would feel for this to be your comfort zone, something you actively enjoy. And you approach these with confidence and ease to the point that in the near future you will be asking to share additional information, feeling that you could add additional value. That when this wall of fear crumbles down, an opportunity opens up, a doorway to elevate your thought leadership, your impact, your ability to connect with other people, inside or outside your organization. Breathing deeply and rhythmically between sentences, and even during a sentence if you need to, is something you don't even need to think about. You're giving permission to your diaphragm to give you sufficient oxygen that you need, no more, no less. And I want you to feel how good it would feel to welcome silence with poise. Very few speakers are comfortable with silences, but imagine how good it would feel for you to be one of them. Sometimes lowering your volume, sometimes using the power of a silence to impact, to inspire, and to engage. And the more you talk, and the more comfortable you feel, filler words are just rare occurrences, replaced by purposeful pauses that add depth and resonance. And if the occasional filler word comes out, it only makes you seem more human and more real and more authentic to the people you're communicating with. Any anxiety before or after a call, all you need to do is put your hand on your diaphragm to feel that you're exhaling tension and breathing in a wonderful feeling of resourcefulness, grounding you, giving you confidence, activating all these incredible resources that already exist within you. Again, see yourself now from the perspective of someone watching your call. They're seeing you on screen. And I want you to notice when you see yourself as others see you, that you notice that your professional presence exudes confidence, that you are effortlessly connecting with your audience, forging strong connections and rapport. You're the kind of presenter that people want to listen to. Your pitch and volume are not monotone or static, rising and falling. There is intention and thought and impact behind your words. Each pause is not just an opportunity to take a deeper breath in, but also your tool to increase anticipation, keeping your audiences engaged and hanging on to your every word. The more you do it, the more relaxed you feel, until speaking becomes a joyful experience and you approach each opportunity with excitement and enthusiasm. And at some point in the not too distant future, you'll get used to the absence of any anxiety. You'll be enjoying it. And you'll have this weird flashback, remembering a time when you used to feel anxious about presenting. And there's a weird sensation that you really don't feel that anymore. In fact, let's go into the future. 2 years into the future, 2 years of ever increasing levels of confidence, authentic connection, more opportunities until this is just second nature to you. You don't have to motivate yourself to walk. You don't have to think about reading. There are certain things that you can just do without thinking, and presenting is now one of those things. And it feels good to connect to that future version of you. And that future version of you has all of the resources necessary to deliver whatever you need to deliver in a way that engages and adds value to your audience. When your unconscious mind is happy, that it's not helpful to imagine things going wrong. That if you want to feel anxious, all you have to do is imagine being in a version of you in the future getting things wrong, and that probably isn't the best idea. When your unconscious mind accepts that imagining yourself doing it well, as if you're looking at someone else doing it well, might be a helpful way for you to prepare better, generate more excitement and enthusiasm, so that when you're actually presenting, you can have fun, enjoy it, but also know you're adding value to those that are listening. And when your unconscious mind is happy that changes are taking place New tools, new ideas, new ways of thinking, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. Hold on to that thought. Accepting that the future is ever-increasing levels of wisdom, confidence, that every time you present, you will either win or you will learn. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Feel like you're returning to the present, but taking all of those resources and ideas with you. Accepting that this journey in your imagination with just thoughts within thoughts, ideas within ideas, dreams within dreams, and here you are now in the present as you wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, feeling connected into this present time as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.